Comes Tate Taylor. They're neck and neck. There goes Tate Taylor. I told you, Tate. We got to see this clock. 1.1. Richard Lee from Dickinson. He's been a football player, but now he's for real on the track in 3. Tate Taylor from Northside, Harlan and San Antonio in lane 4. He was second in this race last year. He's a 10-2 guy.
At just 16 years old, he didn't just line up. He took over. In a race packed with seasoned sprinters chasing pro dreams, he delivered a 6.75-second 60-meter that felt less like a debut and more like a warning. It wasn't supposed to happen yet. Not at that age, not on that stage. But when he crossed the line, one thing was clear. The sprinting world had just been put on notice. And then came the 200 meters. That's when people realized this wasn't a fluke. He wasn't just a quick starter. He had something else. Balance on the curve, control in the transition, and the kind of finish that leaves athletes clinging to the clock, hoping they misread what they just saw. This wasn't raw speed. This was something sharper, something more dangerous.
Don't count out to new kinds, as we said, in lane 6. And we are off. Richard Lee looking good, trying to catch Tate Taylor, but he's behind already. And trying to reel him in, doing his darndest, but Tate Taylor not having that. Watch the clock, folks.
This is going to be, did he ease?
A sprinter who could dominate both ends of the curve. He's now one of the most talked about junior sprinters in the world. And here's the question everyone's asking. Can he break into the senior elite? And if he can, how soon? Let's break it down. That 6.75-second 60-meter, that puts him among the top junior athletes globally. And to be clear, we're not talking about top in his class or state champion. We're talking about being in the same conversation as juniors who are already knocking on the Olympic door. Athletes like Tate Taylor from the U.S., who ran the same 6.75 indoors and followed it up with a blistering 20.14 outdoors in the 200 meters. One of the fastest legal times ever recorded by an American under 18.
This is going to be, did he ease?
I don't know. They didn't stop the clock, unfortunately, so we can't gawk at it right now.
I mean, we're looking at it.
Then there's Divine Iheme, the 15-year-old from the UK who ran 6.71 indoors, a performance that made headlines in Europe and drew comparisons to early career Noah Lyles. And Bayanda Walaza from South Africa, the teenage rocket who recently ran 9.94 in the 100 meters and secured a senior Olympic silver medal as part of his national relay team. These are the names that dominate junior sprinting today. And yet, this young man has earned his place in that elite circle. With fewer resources, less exposure, and no big sponsorship behind him. Just raw talent, smart coaching, and a relentless hunger to get faster. But as history shows, being a junior star is one thing. Making the leap to senior sprinting, that's a whole different fight. The spotlight is seductive and brutal. After that 6.75 performance, social media lit up. The clip of him launching out of the blocks spread fast, racking up views, shares, and hot takes. Commentators started calling him the next big thing. A few even dared to whisper the name Bolt. That's dangerous territory, because with every viral moment, the pressure doubles. Every race becomes a test. Every split is a statement. Track legends like Michael Johnson have warned against what happens next. The hype machine doesn't care about development. It wants results. Fast. But elite sprinting isn't just about being fast today. It's about being faster next year. And the year after that, sustained greatness takes planning. Justin Gatlin, himself a former prodigy, said it best. You don't just train the body, you have to train the mind to survive success. This is the real test transitioning to the senior level. And here's where most juniors fail. To compete with the best, he'll need more than top-end speed. He'll need to rebuild from the ground up, add muscle, sharpen technique, and develop the mental toughness to handle rounds, pressure, and the weight of expectations. Seniors aren't just faster. They're stronger, smarter, and seasoned. They've survived setbacks, fought through injuries, and raced under stadium lights where medals and careers are on the line. Physically, his team will need to focus on the right kind of strength training. Speed without durability is a recipe for breakdown. And mentally, he has to learn how to race when it's not about setting personal bests, but simply surviving to the next round. How to stay calm when the stakes are higher than anything he's faced before. Let's look at the road ahead, and what that transition might actually look like. If he follows the path carved by others like Gout or William Trulson, the next 2 years will be critical. Gout, the Australian phenom, hit 20.04 in the 200 meters at just 16, but his team was careful. They didn't chase every meet. They chose competitions wisely. They made sure he built strength first. Walaza, now an Olympic silver medalist, had 3 solid years of continental and relay experience before he even touched an individual senior final. This kind of planning isn't cautious, it's smart. Because rushing that transition too fast, that's how you end up like so many junior stars who vanish before they turn 20. But here's what gives this young athlete an edge. He's not just fast, he's a student of the sport. His 60-meter start is textbook, but watch the slow-motion footage of him coming off the curve in the 200-meter. His posture, his timing, the way he doesn't panic in the transition phase, that's rare. That's taught. And his coaching setup reflects that discipline. His training is still tightly controlled. No over-racing, no overtraining. 3 sessions a week focused on speed development, technique, and recovery. His mother, who also serves as his coach, has been open about the importance of protecting his mental space. That kind of support, that kind of understanding, is often the missing piece, and in this case, it could be the secret weapon. So what's next? In the next 12 to 18 months, you can expect him to begin appearing in mixed-age meets racing against seniors, not necessarily to win, but to learn. If he can hit a legal sub 10.20 in the 100 meters or go below 20.50 in the 200 meters outdoors, he'll earn invitations to European circuit races, maybe even Diamond League qualifying events. And if he stays healthy by 2026, we might be looking at a teenager stepping into a senior national final. But here's the reality check. It's going to take everything. No missteps, no injuries, no burnout. His team has to get the training load exactly right. They have to manage media, expectations, and competition schedules. One wrong move and the dream could stall. That said, if he holds the line, if he gets the support he needs, keeps his head clear, and stays hungry, he could be in major finals before he turns 20. That's not hype, that's just math. Because when you're already running 6.75 and dominating 200-meter curves at 16, the ceiling isn't just high, it's wide open. Today, he's already earned respect. Tomorrow, he might earn medals. So, what do you think? Will this young sprinter storm the senior ranks within the next year? Or will his journey take a little longer, a slow burn that explodes on the world stage in 2026 or beyond? Leave your thoughts below. Because, no matter the timeline, one thing's for sure. The world is watching, and the clock is ticking. So now the spotlight's on him. Will he be the next teenage phenom to shake up the senior ranks, or will the pressure, the pace, and the expectations be too much, too soon? One thing's for sure, the clock won't wait. Drop your thoughts in the comments. How soon do you think he'll break into the elite? 1 year? 2? Or is he already there and the world just hasn't realized it yet? If you want to follow every step of this rising star's journey, make sure you hit that subscribe button, because his story is just getting started, and you won't want to miss what's coming next. Track fans, we need to talk about what's happening right now in women's sprinting. The rivalry between Sha'Carri Richardson and Shericka Jackson has reached a boiling point, and the numbers tell a story that's about to explode at the Prefontaine Classic on July 5th, 2025. Both athletes share identical personal bests of 10.65 seconds in the 100 meters. Same fire, same speed on paper, but here's where things get interesting and brutal for one of these queens. Sha'Carri Richardson opened her 2025 season with an 11.47 at the Seiko Golden Grand Prix in Tokyo. Meanwhile, Shericka Jackson dropped an 11.04 at her Diamond League Rabat season opener. That's nearly half a second faster than Richardson's current best this year. In sprinting terms, that gap represents a canyon. The Prefontaine Classic countdown just became electric because Richardson is confirmed for the women's 100 meters. Shericka Jackson hasn't been officially announced yet, but history says she always shows up at Prey. If she's there, we're looking at a rematch that could define the entire 2025 season. Let's travel back to August 21st, 2021, the Nike Prefontaine Classic in Eugene, Oregon. This race changed everything between these two athletes, and frankly, it was absolutely brutal for Richardson, and the stage was set perfectly. All three Tokyo Olympic medalists were present. Shericka Jackson with her bronze medal, Shelly Ann Fraser-Pryce with silver, and Elaine Thompson-Herah fresh off her gold medal performance where she broke Florence Griffith-Joyner's Olympic record. Richardson was finally eligible to compete after serving her marijuana suspension that kept her out of the Tokyo Olympics. The world rankings had her sitting at number 3 globally, even ahead of bronze medalist Shericka Jackson. Everyone expected this race to be competitive. It wasn't. Elaine Thompson-Herah ran a stunning 10.54 seconds, the closest anyone has ever come to FloJo's controversial world record of 10.49. Many consider Thompson-Herah's time the legitimate world record, given the questions surrounding Griffith-Joyner's mark. Shelly Ann Fraser-Pryce and Shericka Jackson claimed second and third place. Richardson, she finished dead last with a time of 11.14 seconds, more than half a second behind the winner. The race that was supposed to showcase her return instead became a public humiliation. The aftermath was equally brutal. A photo showing the Jamaican athletes celebrating in victory while Richardson dealt with an awkward post-race interview got distributed thousands of times across social media. Eugene, Oregon became the site of one of the most devastating defeats in recent sprint history. This looked like the beginning of the end for Richardson. It wasn't. Richardson's response to that 2021 disaster tells you everything about her character. She didn't retreat. She didn't make excuses. She got back to work. In 2022, Richardson bounced back at the Prefontaine Classic with a second-place finish, clocking 10.92 seconds. She defeated both Dina Asher-Smith and Shericka Jackson, finishing only behind Elaine Thompson-Herah. The comeback had officially begun. 2023 became Richardson's breakout year. She won the World Championships 100 meters in 10.65 seconds, proving she belonged among the world's elite. At that year's Prefontaine Classic, she ran 10.80, which incredibly was only good enough for fourth place given the depth of competition. But it was after her 2023 World Championship victory that Richardson delivered her now famous line, "I'm not back, I'm better." Those words became prophetic. 2024 marked Richardson's complete vindication. She won her first ever Prefontaine Classic with a time of 10.84 seconds, defeating rising stars Julian Alfred and Dina Asher-Smith, plus an injury-battling Elaine Thompson-Herah. More importantly, Richardson ended 2024 with the world's fastest 100-meter time at 10.71 seconds. The girl who finished last at 11:14 in 2021 had become the world's fastest woman by 2024. That's not just redemption, that's domination. The rivalry between Richardson and Jackson produces incredible statistics. They faced each other 9 times throughout their careers. Jackson currently holds a narrow 5-4 advantage in wins, but the margins are razor thin. Jackson's average time when racing against Richardson sits at 10.78 seconds. Richardson averages 10.88 seconds in their head-to-head battles. These numbers show just how closely matched these athletes are when they step on the track together. Their Prefontaine Classic history reads like a heavyweight boxing saga. In 2021, Jackson finished third with 10.76, while Richardson struggled to 11.14 in last place. The following year saw Richardson flip the script, placing second at 10.92, while Jackson finished behind her. 2023 belonged to Jackson. She dominated with a 100-meter victory in 10.70 seconds and absolutely demolished the 200-meter field with a meet record of 21.57 seconds. Richardson couldn't match that level. But 2024, that was Richardson's year at Pruitt. Her 10.84 victory statement proved she had conquered her Prefontaine demons and established herself as the meet's new queen. The 2025 season presents fascinating storylines. It's nearly June, and the international sprinting landscape is taking shape. On the men's side, Kenny Bednarek is crushing his competition with relative ease. The women's side sees Tia Clayton from Jamaica holding the current world-leading time of 10.92 seconds from the Doha Diamond League meeting. With more than 3 months remaining before the Tokyo World Championships scheduled for September 13th to 21st, Expect major shifts in world rankings on both the men's and women's sides. Richardson's slow start shouldn't cause panic among her supporters. Her 11th 47 in Tokyo came with visible strapping on her lower right leg, and she was slow out of the blocks, never managing to lead the race. The event was won by Australia's Brie Rizzo in 11.38 seconds. Historical precedent supports patience with Richardson's early season form. In 2024, she opened with slow 200-meter races, running 22.99 and 23.11 in her first two Diamond League appearances in China. She still finished that year as the world's fastest woman at 10.71 seconds. An 11th 47th won't qualify for semifinals at major championships, but Richardson has time to find her speed. The Tokyo World Championships are scheduled an entire month later than usual, giving athletes additional preparation time. While Richardson struggled in Tokyo, Jackson made an immediate impact at the Diamond League Rabat meeting. Her 11th.04 season opener in the 100 meters was nearly 4/10 faster than Richardson's best time this year. That performance immediately established Jackson as the early favorite heading into the Prefontaine Classic. Jackson's time was particularly impressive because it marked her season debut in the 100 meters, meaning she's hitting solid marks despite limited racing. Most athletes remain in heavy lifting phases during this period and aren't ready to produce quick times. The gap between 11:04 and 11:47 represents significant separation in sprint terms. Jackson appears ready to compete at the highest level, while Richardson still searches for her form. History shows that the Prefontaine Classic serves as a crucial preview for World Championship and Olympic medal contenders. Every year, several elite names dip well under 11 seconds at this meet. If historical patterns hold, the winning time will likely sit around 10.80 or faster. The full lineup hasn't been announced, but expect additional heavy hitters like Julian Alfred, Melissa Jefferson, or Shelly-Ann Fraser-Price to join the field. These additions would create one of the deepest 100-meter fields in recent memory. Richardson's confirmation for the event means she's ready to face her demons at Hayward Field once again. Her track record at this meet tells a story of massive redemption and continued determination. From finishing last in 11.14 to winning in 10.84, Richardson has transformed her relationship with this venue. Jackson's potential participation adds another layer of intrigue. Her consistently strong performances at the Prefontaine Classic, including her 2023 double victory in the 100 and 200 meters, prove she knows how to perform on this stage.
Doesn't look like he's going to be able to. Quincy Wilson goes wire to wire and quickly. And that is a fan favorite effort. The folks from track.
Imagine being just 16 years old and running faster than most grown-ups ever will. Quincy Wilson did just that. He didn't just run fast. He broke records, shocked the world, and made history. This isn't just a sports story. This is a story about breaking boundaries, chasing dreams, and proving that age is just a number. Quincy Wilson is not an average teenager. He's a high school student from Maryland who discovered his love for running at a young age. His parents, Roy and Monique Wilson, saw his talent early and encouraged him to follow it. Quincy trains at Bully School in Potomac, Maryland, where he balances homework and world-class sprint training. Even as a kid, he was different, focused, driven, lightning fast. In June 2024, Quincy made history at the U.S. Olympic trials. He ran the 400 meters in 44.66 seconds, smashing the previous U.S. high school record set way back in 1982. Just a few days later, he ran 44.59 seconds, setting a new world record for under 18 runners. He was just 16 years old. That time wasn't just fast, it was Olympic level. It shook the track world and blew up on social media. Everyone from athletes to celebrities was talking about the teen who ran faster than almost anyone his age ever had. Even though he didn't qualify individually for the 400 meters at the Olympics, Quincy's blazing speed earned him a spot on Team USA's 4x400 meter relay team. That made him the youngest male track athlete to join the U.S. Olympic team in over half a century. He wasn't there just to learn, he was there to race.
what can we not say about this youngster? He runs with the maturity of someone a decade older than him. I had the pleasure of interviewing